Bekah, and this is Wendy, and I'm the manager here at Signature Salon. I've been here about 7 years, and Wendy's had the salon for 17 years. And we just want to tell you a little bit about our story and where we've been, how we got to where we are today.
Exactly. As Bekah said, my name is Wendy, and I started Signatures about 17 years ago. And at that point, I didn't know of any how to run a salon books. I just didn't know if there was any out there. There might have been, but I didn't know of any. And after many years of being behind the chair and still finding time to educate, motivate, do all the accounting, marketing, cleaning, fixing, all that stuff, you know, it got a little discouraging. You know, how do you balance all your time between like being behind the chair and all the things that it takes to run a salon? You know, service providers would come and go. For the most part, we would keep people, you know, 3 to 5 years. You know, we would pay for the girls to go on expense-paid trips to New York for education. And just, you know, when they would leave, it was discouraging. And,
yeah, they would leave and we would just struggle with, of course we want them to be inspired, motivated, all of those things, and they would come back and our expectations would be, you come back and you teach what you learn and you come back inspired, and it just wasn't connecting as we were pretty much paying for all of their trip, and they weren't seeing the value in it like as much as was actually there.
Exactly. And I kept thinking, you know, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way where, you know, I can get away from behind the chair 5 days a week and have a long-term, you know, staff where we would just grow our business, where we could get to where we want it to be, you know, eventually have more than one location. I knew there had to be a better way. And so I kept thinking, how do I get out of this hamster wheel? So I hired a manager, and then 2. And, you know, Bekah and Noelle, they both helped rein in and create structures, you know. But over time, even that got discouraging. The amount of pay versus the amount of work, you know, sometimes it just didn't balance.
Yeah, you would, I mean, of course you would see the stylist, and there's lots of opportunity with our commission-based salon for them. And of course, the managers were new for you. You know, that was something new that you had just started. Before that, you ran everything yourself. So it was somewhat discouraging to work here for a few years and go, okay, well, how do I make more money? How do I get raises like the stylists are getting raises? So we knew we had some work cut out for us.
Exactly. A couple years ago, we had a meeting. We closed the salon one day, and we just had a day that we were just getting on the same page, creating some structures. And, you know, we asked the girls openly, we said, hey, what can we do to create some things in the salon that would make you love your job even more? And one of the girls popped up and she said, I'd love to work 3 days. And so we were like, okay, so that's good. Let's think about that. So we did ask, right? So we had to consider that amongst some other things that the girls' ideas that they had. You know, around that same time, I had just retired my shears. I wanted to spend more time like coaching. Although I knew it would negatively affect the bottom line, I knew that it was something I needed to do. So I did that. I retired my shears. Around the same time we're having this meeting and the girls were wanting to work less. So we scheduled a retreat.
That was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, we scheduled a retreat and we just kind of brainstormed. We had Post-its all over the wall, the big Post-its, and we kind of started looking, okay, if they did work 3 days, that means we're open 6 days. That means we can maybe hire like twice the amount of staff. You know, that they're going to be happier because they work less. We potentially could make twice what we're making now. It kind of started, we could see some potential here.
So we really wanted to find ways to maximize the space that we already had. We have, in our particular salon, we have 7 chairs. So we were like, okay, well, we have 7 chairs, that means we can only have 7 stylists. Well, wait a second, we could actually have double that amount. So we started to look at some different ways that we could do that.
Exactly, so it just made sense. We're like, well, and they wanted to work less. So we kind of talked a lot with the staff. We kind of polled them. We, you know, different meetings, we would just kind of get different opinions. And there was a little resistance at first, you know, just the thought of working less. There was, you know, can we make enough? Are our clients going to be happy? There was a lot of concerns. But it really has proven, it's been 2 years now. In the first 18 months, we've had a 61% increase in revenue, 41% increase in net income. So that has been huge. Our coach has been totally just really on board, just really excited. It's just been a really neat thing, and not only the profits, which has been nice, but the staff. It's so much funner to run and own a business when you have people who are just happy to be.
So much less to manage. There's no convincing going on where you feel like, hey, you need to come to work and have a good attitude because that's just what you need to do. You don't really have to worry about that. They just want to come and do a good job because they know they're going to be off the next day. There is none of that. So that leaves us more time to grow the business because we're not spending so much time just convincing people to want to do their job. That's done. So now we can move on to bigger and better things.
That's right. And with the support staff, it's really been neat too because we've been able to implement ways that we're going to talk more about through this, through the book and different things that we're working on, ways to really promote them, and so they're able to also make a lot more than they were making in their hourly rate. Because the more efficient the salon is, the more the salon can make, the more obviously we're able to pay them. So it's really been like a win-win